Hello everyone, welcome to Sound of Hope News. I'm your host Wei Fang.
And I'm Kathy Zhang.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to our show again. And so Arizona, the Maricopa County audit, what is going on there? We want to bring you the newest update, which is I think is rather interesting. And the second, as you see the title, Ashli Babbitt, her family is suing the Capitol Police. It may not be such a big news, but it's definitely new spirit. And I do have something I want to share with you, something I think that's is worth sharing about. This is a highlight, okay, because it's the action is very important. Although this action is not groundbreaking, but it's very important. The third, Georgia. Remember Georgia, 700 or 800 companies and try to condemn and criticize Georgia to prevent other states from following the steps. Did they succeed? And we'll have answer today. And actually this morning, Kathy went to a live report, right? Live site report. And she will bring you what she learned this morning. It's quite eye-opening. All right, so let's just get into the first news. Maricopa County. So what is the most recent update, Kathy?
Okay, most recent update. A couple of updates, okay. So actually, it seems that more workers moved into the stadium so that it seems they try to, just add more manpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me insert here. 200, original plan is this, 250 people will be working on 2 shifts non-stop until it is done. So when will it be done? Actually, because they only lease, the auditing company only lease that until May 14th. And after May 14th, the studio has been reserved for a lot of other use. So apparently they have the confidence to get everything done before then, which would be just 2 weeks away, right?
Right.
It's pretty fast. And then now, as Kathy said, they double the tables and the staff working on that audit. So it seems to be speeding this up.
Right. And on the other hand, there are 3 organizations. They are asking the DOJ, Department of Justice, to send monitors to the audit. And who are they? They are Brennan Center for Justice, Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. And the third one is Protect Democracy. They are sending this request obviously on behalf of the Arizona Democratic Party. So the reason they are giving is that they feel that the Senate, the Arizona Senate and their agent, including the Cyber Ninja company, they said they are violating the federal voting and the election laws, in danger of the ballots are in danger of being stolen, defaced, or irretrievably damaged. And they also claim that the audit companies are doing something unlawful voter intimidation. I don't know where are the evidences, but they are claiming that. So Ken Bennett, who is a former Arizona Secretary of State, and he's acting the liaison for the Senate and during this audit, he said that the letters fundamentally assertion were completely unfounded, and he's saying that they are sending a rebuttal letter to the Department of Justice. Yeah, and they believe that ballots are secured and there's no risk of any of the things that the other side claims.
Yeah, and however, Ken Bennett said this. He said we welcome DOJ or anyone else to come see what is really happening, because the ballots are secure and there's no risks or any of the things that claim there are. So yeah, so basically, I think this is the right spirit. Think about that, right? If those 3 organizations is asking DOJ, send somebody over, watch them over, watch closely. I think that's in the right spirit. Personally, I don't object to that. And I think that's exactly the right way to do this. If you don't trust the auditor, send your people and watch, stand by. Don't stop it, right? I think stopping it is the worst thing. Stopping it will raise a lot of suspicion. And the very fact that now they are asking DOJ and send other people, and Kathy have another incident, right?
Okay, yeah, actually, besides they are asking the federal to send observers, the Secretary of State in Arizona, Katie Hobbs, already sent 3 observers. But the Arizona GOP chairwoman, Kelly Waters, she's not happy with that. Why? Because she said the 3 observers, people in common sense would think they would from the office of the Secretary of State, right? And this position is elected by the voters. However, the 3 observers actually are not from the office of Secretary of State. They are from like two of the organizations who are requesting DOJ to send observers. So the GOP chairwoman feel it's a violation of the Arizona voters' rights and the senators' rights.
Let me interrupt a little bit. Lone Wolf 36S, thank you for your donation. And also, I just want to say hi. I really want to catch this moment and say hi to Lolit 10. Hello from Manila, Philippines. Thank you. Wow, that's That's 12,000 miles away.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Jeff from Minnesota. Yeah, that's who we remember. We met in Capitol.
Yeah.
In January.
Okay, and and Lisa Loyoga from California. Yeah, thank you. And okay, so let's get back to the topic here. And so they sent 3 observers, right? And it seems kind of a weird way. However, okay, the Senate, the auditors took them. They said they can come in. So the most recent news is that they are allowed to come in, even they are not appropriate. Okay, and then this is what happened. Okay, those observers, what they dig out, right? They come here, and one of the observer already raised hand. He or she finds something wrong. Okay, let me just share you what he has found, and we all want a transparent and a thorough audit. Something's wrong, we won't agree to that, right? If the auditor by the Republican Senate did something wrong, I think none of us want that to happen either. So I think the truth is what we're asking for. This observer, one of the 3, sent by the Secretary of the State of Arizona, and he or she said this. He cited how the company has been exposing ballot to ultraviolet light. Okay, and this is his word. Quote, based upon my experience in the election administration, including my 10 years of auditing and certifying ballot printers for the California Secretary of State, apparently, it's probably come from California, ballots should not be exposed to UV light, which deteriorates ink on paper as well as the paper itself. Therefore, the process could impede Maricopa County's ability to preserve and maintain the ballots for the applicable federal and the state retention period. It's a he. I'm sorry, I saw that. It's a he.
Wow.
So what's about that?
Yeah.
I mean, we have this. What's the company of the camera? I mean,
azaudit.com.
azaudit.com. If you are curious, just go there. Okay, azaudit.com. You can see, 9 cameras, 7 days, 24 hours.
24/7.
Look at where's the UV light there? It's probably just the light on the ceiling, right? There's no other UV light. Apparently, this guy is saying that the fine printed ballot, if exposed to our light, we got some light here. I'm sure there's enough, some UV there. The ink will fade. The paper will have problem. All right, and then the dire consequence is this ballot cannot be preserved for the required retention period.
Oh, that's what they claimed. The ballots will be defaced, right?
So what's the big deal about that, right? Before May 14th, the whole nation wants to know the result of the votes on the ballots. This retention period with the UV light from the ceiling of auditorium, what's the big deal of that? So basically, yeah, I think it's still good for them to find out. We lay them out, everybody look at that. If this is the biggest issue they found, that's probably quite assuring. it is a honest audit, right? If they found more things, we should all welcome them. Please, share with them. We want to verify that. We do want a transparent and a thorough and a fair audit, which would conclude what's happened during the election. So that's that. Let's move on to the Ashli Babbitt. It's old news, but it's new spirit, as I said. So Ashli Babbitt, her family sued the police department and the officer who fired the guns for at least $10 million. All right, and then they sued them for the wrongful death, and will be seeking after this damage. So as we know that this is old news. It's not Ashli Babbitt died, and on April 14th. The Capitol Police, the Metropolitan, Police Department, and the DOJ decide not to pursue charge against the police officer. So that leaves the three questions, right? We shared that before. First, who did it? As of today, nobody knows who did it. Why hide him? He's innocent. This guy is discharged of any guilt. He's safe and he's innocent. Why hide his name? Why hide his name? Every police who shot a black man, their name got exposed right away within hours. So why hide this guy? This is also police. So first question, who is this person? The country has the right to know. The second, the report said he shot Ashli Babbitt's shoulder and she died a few moments later. How does that happen? It's not quite scientific by any means, right? The third, for the whole entire report, if you listen to our show that day, did not explain why he pulled the trigger. Mm-hmm. Isn't that all the investigations about? Why? What's the motive of pull that trigger?
Yeah, as the lawyer for Ashli Babbitt's family, Terry Roberts said, he said even a rookie police officer would not have shot this woman. Because he said that if Ashli Babbitt ever committed any crime by going through that window into the speaker's lobby, it would be trespassing. And everybody knows trespassing, how serious a crime it is, right? The misdemeanor, it won't deserve a gunshot. So, and the lawyer Robert said he had also this police officer who shot Ashli Babbitt, he has plenty of other officers there to assist with arrest. He said that because the only thing he needs to do is just arrest her. And if you remember the video, there behind Ashli's back there are at least 2 or 3 fully armed police. And on the other side of the window, besides this police officer, police with a gun, and maybe like a 6 or 8 feet away, there are 2 or 3 police officers there. So they have enough people there, and so the lawyer just questioned why he still shot her. Really, what's in threat? Whose life was threatened by her? So she said, the lawyer said, Ashli Babbitt doesn't have a weapon, and she's on the window ledge. So that's why, and then she said there's no reason to think she's armed. And in fact, she's not armed. So the lawyer said that the $10 million figure was a good estimate. And within next 10 days, he will serve notice to the U.S. Capitol Police.
Mm-hmm. And one of our viewers, Sado Lee, you said you wrote 10 million only, and you have question mark and an exclamation sign there. Yes, I definitely understand why you said that. Why 10 million only? Probably should be 800 million, right?
Well, actually, a life. How much you can,
However,
compensate a life.
This is my point. This is why I want to make this the highlight of the of today's show, right? With the picture, we will also pick this one as the news. I was afraid Ashli Babbitt's family did not do even this, right? Because it's a lot of pressure. It's against a lot of people, a lot of force. Okay, they could walk away, forget about the whole matter. She's already passed away, and How about we just go back to the calm life? They didn't do it, right? They pursue this lawsuit. Even owning $10 million is already an act of courage. That's why I really want to compliment for that. It took courage for them to do this. It will take courage for them to carry on. So we need to give them support. How do we do that? Just sharing about our point of view on this matter, and sharing this program, and just sharing things so that the whole country will have their eyes stay on this. So yeah, in this kind of situation, it's really take courage to do anything. But if we don't do it, we would not even have a choice down the road. So while we still have choice, we take the courage, gather our courage, and do it. That's our duty as American citizen, as American. So yeah, so that's why I think this is the highlight of today's news. Even a modest 10 million, and but it's still it's a spirit that I really like to see. All right, and also thank you, Steve Eager. I hope I said it right. And thank you for your input. You said they are using a UV light scanner to see fold lines and special UV markers made by the printing machines. Counterfeit ballots wouldn't have the correct UV printing markers. Thank you. Apparently you know better than I on this matter. So yeah, so they're using that tool, right? The UV light to find out the counterfeit and whether is the right ballot or not. And then they are worried about if you do that, the ink will fade and then it will not be retained for long enough as required by the law. Okay, if that's the best they can find,
because like they try to find out if there are legal votes, like if they are not folded. Yeah. So if it's a mail-in ballot, you have fold, and then they can check.
I think it's just back to this Ashli Babbitt's topic. I think we still need the answer to those three questions. First, who shot her? Was his or her full name? Who shot her? The people have the right to know. The second, why shooting somebody's shoulder? Why shooting Ashli Babbitt's shoulder caused the death? Can some doctor issue a statement on that? The third, why pull the trigger? Believe it or not, right? This is 4 months later. 4 months later, we still don't know. We still don't, with so much investigation, we still don't know what's the motive of pulling that trigger. Why we don't have this answer? Okay.
It is important to do that because otherwise, they just gonna have the rhetoric and saying that she's, intrusive. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, what I mean.
Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, which is okay. First, I want to talk about Georgia, right? Georgia passed a law, very, very mild, watered down law that tightened up the election process a little bit, and then 700 to 800 big corporation, jump on board and criticize Georgia, and the purpose is, in my opinion, is so that there won't be the second Georgia or the third Georgia or the fourth Georgia. Unfortunately, 2 of them appeared. So what happened?
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, we know that Florida just passed the election integrity bill, and it was passed in both Senate and the House, and it's sending to Governor Ron DeSantis' desk. So this bill, what it does is, basically it makes a few changes, including like banning the use of private money of fund election operations, and also installing further restrictions on absentee vote, and the ballot harvesting by third party, and improving signature verification, which are very basic but very much needed. And specifically, the bill cracks down on the vote by mail, requiring voters to request to vote by mail more regularly, and restrict a third-party voter registration organization. Actually, this is really, I think, a problem. We never really shared it, but actually, we found in California in last election, there are like the third-party voter registration really had a problem. Yeah. So this bill and whether if Governor DeSantis, he actually said that he would definitely sign it. And so that's happened in Florida, and also the other state passed a voter integrity bill is Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee. That bill require watermarks on absentee votes, ballots.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's move on to the Antifa news that that Kathy followed, and you want to share with our audience?
Yeah. So actually, Antifa. We know. Some people just saying, "Oh, Antifa." Some say, "Oh, they are just a bunch of young people who really have the spirit to want to change things," and some even said, "Oh, they are not something threatening. They are just some kind of idea." But in Northern California, where we are, there's a Trump supporter. He actually was able to infiltrate the local Antifa organization and found a lot of scary. Actually, it's kind of scary information. The infiltrator was able to record some of the phone messages among the members and capture some text messages where they openly talk about killing people, killing cops, and also they're targeting Republicans. So this is actually reported by our local ABC news. So this is happening in Santa Rosa County here in California. So remember, everybody remember the George Floyd case trial, right?
Yeah.
The police officer Chauvin. At the trial, there are quite a few people just went to the court to provide defense. One of them was a former Santa Rosa police officer. His name is Baron Broad. Baron Broad testified as a expert of use of force. So he defended police Chauvin, saying he was using the right force, right? So right after he did the testify in court, his name jumped to the top of the target list of local Antifa.
Wow.
That's what the infiltrator found. And then at the middle of the night, the house that the officer brought, he used to live there, but for a year he hasn't been living there for a year now. But the Antifa found out that's his address, and they used the pig blood.
Pig blood, okay.
Yeah, pig blood.
Smear the pig blood
all over his house, like on the door, the garage door, and then the local leader of the Antifa, he has a screen name called Marb. M-A-R-B, Marb. Marb in the early morning around 4 a.m. posted a note telling his comrades, saying that, a late notice, some of our comrades take action against this abroad, and if someone in the morning can just swing by and take a picture, they'll be highly appreciated. Okay, so the infiltrator, the Trump supporter infiltrator, found out, the target list. Who else are on the target list? For example, the local sheriff association's president.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and also they named them as killer deputies. And also some Trump car rallies, car parades, car rallies participants are all on the list. And they are also saying that what's their manifesto? Okay, one of in the manifesto saying, do not hesitate, do not wait. The bricks on the street is meant to be thrown. The paint in the can is meant to be sprayed. And they are also talking about on the National Workers' Day, May 1st.
May 1st.
Yeah, the members are talking about, shall we just do something like kill some people, kill some cops?
Okay.
Yeah.
How does this guy, get into the circle?
Right. So how he got into it, he just shared with the reporter saying that you just, talk in their language, talk something, speak something that they would like to hear. For example, he said, comrades, I'm just like you, wanted to destroy the system, and I'm with you. So he said that those type of language are those Antifa members would like to hear. They feel that they are not alone, and there are more of them in the society. Yeah. So yeah, and so also he said that actually they shared how some of the members don't like the name of Antifa. I think they are talking about some new members. So I think they are trying to disguise them. Initially they have their name called SoCo. It's SoCo Antifa, because it's a Santa Rosa County, right? But they mentioned some of the members don't like to be called Antifa, and they are also maybe afraid of being on the FBI watch list. So they changed the name called SoCo Radical Action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the story, and so I'm sorry. It reminded me something about this so-called Red Guard during the Cultural Revolution in China. Those Red Guard are just a group of young people.
Oh yeah, let me just add something, because this local group leader of Antifa, the name Marb, he's actually only 25. He's 25-year-old college student, and during last year's after George Floyd's death in Oakland, they had this violent protest, and this Marb was actually arrested because he used a deadly weapon to assault local police and the firemen. But you know what happened to him? The local district attorney decided not to prosecute him, so he was released.
Just let him go.
Yep. So yeah, like because you mentioned in the China CCP's Red Guard, are those young people who are violent.
Yeah, so this is a bit of story. Hope you can follow me, and hope I can explain it clearly. Between 1966 to 1976 are the 10 year of so-called Cultural Revolution. That's when the Communist Party went to its own extreme left. Okay, and then they just destroy all the traditional culture and dismantle the system they used to have, and even just throw in the labor camp a lot of communist, the old cadres or the old officials. How did they do that? They did that initially through just a group of young people, and they call themselves Red Guards. Okay, Red Guards, they're really young people just before 20, younger than 20 or just a little over 20. And then they are lawless, they attack anyone, they're self-righteous, and they just, whatever they do, the police or the security apparatus cannot do anything about them. Okay, like today, right? If I go to some house and spread that house with the pig blood, I better worry about the police come to me and put me in the jail. And those people, those Antifa, have no regard, have no issue for that. They are really just lawless, and they do what they do.
And they use intimidation to stop people. And I think that's why, going back to Babbitt's family, they have the courage to do this lawsuit. I think that's why it's important. If everybody just to taking what's happening and don't really do something, then those Antifa, they are just gonna do more.
Yeah. And the way to make them safe, to make Babbitt's family safe, is to increase the exposure of this case. In the lawsuit, what I mean is the lawsuit. That's always the best way to win the battle, because good people will not resort to violence, right? They don't. Generally, they don't. Especially in this kind of situation, they don't. Okay, they will not spread pig blood back. But what do they do? What can they do? Right? What can they do? First, as we said yesterday, I mean the day, we vote with our dollar, with our votes, ballots, with our votes, with our which movie we go, and so on and so forth. But also, whenever there's a how to say high-profile case, and that represents justice, everybody stand behind that. Okay, and that's the way for that. Like this audit, same thing. That will guarantee and increase the likelihood for the audit to go through fine, and for the case of the Ashli Babbitt to receive the right trial. And I was talking about one example in Hong Kong. We have a fellow journalist. Her name is Liang Zhen. Okay, because Hong Kong is already taken over by CCP. And then so they persecuted her, they threatened her, somebody followed her. It's just a young, short lady, and just follow her home, just intimidated her. So she has to send out the plea saying that please pay attention to this. So we try our effort to ask as many people share the news about her as possible. And then that will be very effective, okay, believe it or not. Even in Hong Kong where CCP absolutely have their iron grip on that. But still very effective because they would always calculate the cost versus their gain. If it costs them too much in publicity, in public relationship, to do something bad, they will hesitate. They may retract. They may not do it the next time. Okay, because they are not mission driven. Okay, they won't be just fearless or just how to say they won't sacrifice for their so-called mission or cause because they have no mission. They do it because they can get their goal. But if it's too costly, they'll rethink. Okay, this is how to deal with the communist. Increase the cost. And by increasing the cost, what I mean is increase the exposure. Telling more people the truth, have more people share their eye, put their eye on it. Then that will increase the cost.
Yeah, just call them out.
Yeah, call them out.
Yeah.
And then they will hesitate. They won't do it. Okay. So that's a little bit experience to share with you guys, and hopefully that will be useful.
Yeah, and so it's already half hour, but I saw Jeff from Minnesota. He had a question. He said, Kathy and Wei, did you notice all the recent talk about Asian racism? All of a sudden, it's on commercials in my area and on the news. And he asked, I think the left is losing support from the black community, or they are just trying to recruit the Asian.
Yeah, I think we have a thorough show on that in our Chinese channel. Okay, and behind a lot of supporters, a lot of support behind this, Stop Asian Hate.
Oh, Stop Asian Hate.
It's from CCP. Can you believe it? Can you believe that? It's from CCP. CCP want to do that because they want to divide up the American society so that they have a chance. And then, yes, the ultra left or the Democrat who was fooled by them, they try to recruit Asian. They try to convince us, America really is bad. You guys are really mistreated here.
Yeah, I think, it's a little bit complicated issue even for the Asian community members. And I think some of them are confused, but some are, can see it clearly. On one hand, true, there are things happening, and some people are targeting Asian. And today, I went to Oakland to cover this news conference, right? It's about California's legislation.
And Luis Fernandez said, I saw your report. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we had a live coverage. If you haven't seen it, afterwards you can go back during the weekend. You can watch the live coverage. But what I want to say is, at this conference, I talked to so many people, including like a vice mayor. He's a Chinese American vice mayor. He himself was targeted by some people when he was in the BART. Mm-hmm. He was actually, a group of young people actually just tried to rob his cell phone. Mm-hmm. Okay, he was pushed down the escalator, really cannot really walk for three months. Mm-hmm. And also another lady, she's our loyal listener and the viewer in the Chinese radio, on the Chinese radio and YouTube. And she shared just a couple weeks ago, she was robbed while she was unloading the groceries. Mm-hmm. And then another lady afterwards, she actually sent me a bunch of pictures of an old Chinese American gentleman. He was just for no reason a guy. He's African American, like a mid-age, just beat on him. So there are such things happening. However, is it really what they claim to be Asian hate? Some people are talking about from our Chinese community saying, especially for example in New York, actually in San Francisco, such thing happened before this year. Okay, it's been happening, but it's not about the race. It is about how people taking advantage of older people. And because some of them, they know Asian people, especially Chinese Americans, they have money,
The same. That's why they have money.
Yeah, and they don't usually, Chinese Americans, when they were targeted, they don't report to the police. So all those factors are the reasons. But like Wei mentioned, I agree that some of the leftists try to just target Asian community, trying to recruit them, trying to tell them you are targeted because of your race. And but on the other hand, we all know that just a few days ago, the Senate passed in the Congress, right? Senate passed a so-called COVID Act. Initially, they tried to say it's a Stop Asian Hate Act, but then it had to change. And only maybe just one Republican Senate didn't vote for it. A couple of them didn't vote for it. But like a Senate, Ted Cruz tried to put on an amendment saying that we have to add something just to stop the discrimination of Asian students in the college admission. Actually, the amendment was rejected by most of the Democratic Party's senators.
Yeah, let me explain a little bit here. Okay, that's actually the most concern that my community, Asian American community have, because Asian, we really emphasize our family pay a lot of attention to the education of kids. The kids are very young. They study very diligently. They have extra curriculum, and they try all kinds of things. They study hard. They stay late, and so on and so forth. Remember the Tiger Mom, So basically, many of them can go to the Ivy League schools or top schools, and then to such extent that worry some people that we have too many Asians there. So that's a big issue. So there's a quota in the California University of California system. They try to allocate a quota so that they won't have so many Asian people. So first, that's the issue of is that fair? You study hard, with all your effort, you earn your score and earn your chance to enter the top university, but because of their race, they won't be able to. So this is one major tension that Asian people have in terms of race. The other things are not that outstanding, but on this very issue, the Asian American care the most, whether their kids can go to Harvard or Yale, and because they study so hard, they are so qualified. On this very issue, the Democrat Party seems to don't agree with them. They don't see that as a discrimination either.
Yeah, and as we reported before, in this whole Stop Asian Hate thing, you can see some of the messages. Some people may miss it, don't notice, but the messages are actually from CCP. So it's pretty obvious that Chinese Communist Party, they are exploiting this opportunity. They feel that that's an opportunity to really just undermine America and to gather the hate against America, actually. So yeah, it's a little bit complicated, and among the Asian community, there is a split. That's a fact. Yeah, because some people just taking whatever their rhetoric is, and they feel that we are targeted. It is true. They feel they are targeted, but what's the root cause? That's the problem. And that's the issue that we try our best try to explain to our audience in Chinese language. And here, we would like to share since Jeff mentioned this question.
Okay, so hopefully it can make sense to you. It's a little complicated, but to us, I think it's clear. America is so on this earth. It's the greatest country. It's the greatest country. That's why we come here. That's why so many immigrants come here, because they come because it's a great country. Their action tell what country it is. Their action tell their point of view about America. So anyway, 40 minutes.
Yeah,
it's a bit too long.
Yeah.
Okay, how about it's a little heavy stuff. Well, we gotta have some light-spirited thing.
Okay, joke of the day.
Yeah, so we talk about a parrot, right? A parrot, a super smart parrot who was able to, outbidding the buyer, right?
That's right.
Yeah, from like
Do you still
$20
remember?
all the way to $10,000, and then that's a pretty amazing parrot. But I never explained that how parrot learn their language, learn the human language.
How?
Yeah, today I want to tell you
yeah.
because when Jimmy, remember it was Jimmy, right? It's the donkey rider. The Jimmy who bought this $10,000 parrot, okay? So the original owner, the seller, was telling him, so he was asking, how come this parrot is so smart? So he tell him the story of how he learned how to speak, okay? So the seller, his name is John, okay? John, live in a house, and then he have this parrot. So he was only able to teach this parrot one sentence.
Oh, what's that?
Which is, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Yeah.
Okay.
Because when the parrot call out who is it, and the guest answer, then the host would know. Okay, just like knock and answer, got to know who's the visitor. So one day, John has to go work. He forgot he has a schedule for the plumber to come to fix the pipes.
Oh.
So the plumber came, and at 10 o'clock was knocking the door. And he hears some voice saying that, who's it?
Oh.
Yeah, he said, oh, it's the plumber. And then he heard the voice again, who's it? It's the plumber, sir. Who's it? It's the plumber. Who's it? It's the plumber. He was really mad. What's going on there? I answered the question very well.
And for several times.
Yeah, and he waited for the door to open. Then he heard, who's it? So they keep asking, he keep answering. The blood went to his brain. He got so mad, and then he just fainted. Okay, he fainted. Yeah, fainted because he's an old guy.
Poor plumber.
Yeah, I'm not saying this. It's the what's the word? There's called hemorrhage. Okay, it just blood went to the brain, and he just fainted. Okay, so at lunchtime, John came back. John opened the door. And then look at this guy. Wow, a guy was lying on the doorstep.
Yeah, what happened?
So he said, well, what happened? who is it? Then he heard his parrot said, it's the plumber. Okay, hope you like it.
Wow,
that's how parrot learn. Okay, I have a lot of good parrot jokes in the future. Okay, all right. Hope this leave you with some fun and have your night and have a good night and have a great weekend.
Right.
And we'll see you again.
Yeah. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.